just don't want no headstone on my grave. I want that understood. I figured that at least I got a monument coming. A big one.
This morning becomes eclectic at 89.9 KCRW. It's my honor today to welcome Jerry Lee Lewis to our program. Thanks for coming in so much.
Thank you very much, Nick.
It's a pleasure to see you play as well. You know, that piano's been in this studio a long, long time, and there's been a lot of people play, but to see you just bashing away at that thing with the band and everything, it was a real honor. So again, thank you so much.
Great piano.
Let's talk a little bit about this album and then just sort of see where our conversation goes. This is the first album you've done, you just told me before we started taping the interview, in 20 years.
That's right.
Any particular reason why you waited so long to record again?
Well, I was working my shows. I had show dates to work and all I wanted to work. And I noticed I was getting a little older. And I couldn't work the show dates as fast as I wanted to work them.
Right.
So I got to thinking about maybe going back into the studio and recording again. And I wanted to make sure that my voice was up to par and my piano playing was up to par. And it was.
I think you just proved that in the set that you just played for us.
Yeah, well.
How did you then decide that this album was going to be a collaboration and duets, and how did you decide the people that you wanted to work with? There's some old friends on this CD. I should tell people that the CD is called Last Man Standing, which in itself is an interesting title. But how did you decide who you wanted to help you out on this record?
Well, I left that to Steve Being and Jimmy Riff. They
produce the record.
And they didn't have any problem getting these people.
I'm sure they didn't. But some of your old friends are on here as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of one of them, but...
Chris Christopherson's on here?
Well, Chris, he's one of my old friends.
We should talk about Chris because, I mean, you guys go back, right?
We go way back.
Tell us a little bit about your relationship with him. When did you first meet?
Oh, I met Chris when he wrote the song, Once More With Feeling, for me. And he brought it over to the Mercury recording office, and he was drinking Mateus wine, and he was walking drunk.
That's that pink bubbly wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad stuff.
He had my mouth watering.
Right.
And we sat down, and I didn't know it was Chris. And he never introduced himself. He said, I got a song for you I wrote, and I want to hear it. And he sat down, and he started playing it. And I said, that's a hit song. That's a hit song. And I asked Jerry Kennedy, I said, who is this guy? He said, that's Chris Christopherson. I said, that's Chris Christopherson?
So you knew who he was.
Oh, I knew who he was.
You didn't know who the guy was who was handing you the song?
No, I didn't. That's the way he was dressed and carrying on.
I think a lot of people don't realize how many amazing songs that he's written through the years as well.
Oh, this guy can write.
But you guys became friends, I guess, pretty much then.
Oh, yeah. We become very close friends.
What year was that, or thereabouts?
That's about 1975,
right.
76, something like that.
So it must have been fun to actually have him on this record again as well, playing the Pilgrim, of course.
Yeah.
Other people on this record include Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, doing rock and roll.
Right.
It seems a very appropriate song for you guys to do together. Rock and roll being, I mean, you're rock and roll.
Yeah, rock and roll.
And Led Zeppelin did that song as well. We've got Bruce Springsteen on here. Mick Jagger, John Fogerty, Keith Richards, Merle Haggard.
Merle, yeah.
I'm presuming you guys go back.
We go way back.
Tell us about your relationship with him.
Oh, well, we had several crazy things happen. But I wouldn't want to get into all of that.
You're not going to give me any details right now about the Merle Haggard crazy days?
Well, Merle didn't drink at the time. In Richmond, Virginia, when
Jerry Lee Lewis died on Friday morning at his home in Desoto County, Mississippi, and with the demise of his passing, celebrities have come out mourning the loss of the rock and roll legend and controversial musician Jerry. A huge legend, also known as the Killer, Lewis died at his home in Desoto County, Mississippi on Friday, as I've earlier told you, with his wife Judith Brown Lewis by his side. According to a press release confirming his death, he told her, in his final days that he was not afraid to die. He's ready to leave. Brian Lewis had said just before his death, he said he was ready to be with Jesus. Since the news broke, numerous stars have taken to social media to pay tribute to Lewis. Rock and roller Ringo Starr shared a tribute on Twitter, writing, "God bless Jerry Lee Lewis, peace and love to all his family, Ringo." Kid Rock wrote that he will forever cherish my time with Jerry Lee on and off the stage. He continued, "No question, one of the best to ever do it, and one of the godfathers and architects of rock and roll. Your music will always live through me and the rest of the world. Rest in peace and rock on, killer." Kid Rock. Meanwhile, Dennis Quaid, who played Lewis in the 1989 film Great Balls of Fire, said he will miss him. In a touching statement, he said Jerry Lee was a Christian, an American icon, and the greatest piano player in the world. Jerry Lee was a Christian, an American icon, and the greatest piano player in the world. People will be listening to Great Balls of Fire and a whole lot of shaking 500 years from now. He wrote on Instagram, "I'll miss him. God bless you, Jerry Lee." The Rolling Stones' Ronnie Wood shared a pair of photos with Lewis on Twitter and wrote, "R.I.P. Jerry the Killer, what a man." Elton John paid tribute by thanking him for his trailblazing inspiration. The legend Sir Elton said, "Without Jerry Lee Lewis, I wouldn't have become who I am today. He was groundbreaking and exciting, and he pulverized the piano," he wrote on Twitter. "A brilliant singer, too. Thank you for your trailblazing inspiration and all the rock and roll memories. Hashtag RIP. Keith Richards shared a vintage video of Lewis and wrote, "Goodbye to the killer, RIP Keith, from the 1983 salute to Jerry Lee Lewis. We send our deepest condolences to the family, wife, and fans of Jerry Lee in this hard time. Rest in power, King."